John 13:34 and 35 says this, "A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another."
Be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. This is the As Good Soldiers video podcast.
Earlier this week, we had a devotions about the love of Christ, and it stayed on my mind. In John 13, John tells us that Jesus knows the time of his sacrifice is close. The shadows of his crucifixion and all that he was going to suffer for us are closing in. And he's sharing the Passover meal that would later be called the Last Supper with his disciples, his closest friends. And when dinner's over, he does something that's absolutely shocking. Right after supper, the Master, the Lord, the one that the crowd had just proclaimed to be king in the previous chapter, he girds himself with a towel, he pours water into a basin, and he kneels down, and he begins to wash their feet. This wasn't some small gesture. This was completely unthinkable for a master to perform this kind of act. It was a powerful, very obvious display of humble service. Moments later, after Jesus told Judas, the betrayer, to go ahead and leave and to do his dark deed, Jesus turns back to the other disciples and he reminds them that in the fulfilling of God's will, even what was getting ready to come, God is glorified. And then he gives them a new commandment. He looks at his followers and he says, "A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another. As I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another." His commandment wasn't just to be nice. It wasn't even to have some sort of emotion towards people. His new commandment was to love specifically as he loved. He said that love would be the unmistakable identifier. That's the way that the world would know that we belong to him. So, what does it mean to love as he loved? There's several characteristics of his love that we need to exhibit, but I want to talk specifically about this one. If we look at the same meeting where he gave the command, we see part of the answer. Christ's love leads to service and sacrifice. The same evening, Jesus served those who called him master by stooping to wash their dirty feet. But the ultimate act of love was still to come. Later in chapter 15, as they walked toward the Garden of Gethsemane, where he was going to be betrayed, he tells them again, "This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you." And then he gives this definition of this great love. He said, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." He was speaking directly to those men, his friends, who followed him, who loved him, and who served him on a daily basis. But the Apostle Paul reminds us of something that to me is just staggering when he wrote in Romans chapter 5, "For when we were yet without strength, in due time, Christ died for the ungodly. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man some would even dare to die." But in verse 8 he says, "But God commendeth his love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." His love was the entire reason for his sacrifice. Even when we were in active rebellion against him, his love made him give all for us. That's the standard. That is the love that he commands us to emulate. He commands us to love others as he loved us. Not just when it's comfortable or when it's convenient, but in service and in sacrifice. So I want to encourage you to think about this commandment and to ask yourself with me, If someone looked at my life, would they recognize that I'm a disciple of Jesus? Not because of what I say, not because of what I profess, but because of how I love and serve others. Jesus said the world will know that we belong to Him by one thing, and that's how we love like He loved. Serve, sacrifice, love others just as He loved us. Be strong in His grace. Stay focused on Christ. Encourage your fellow soldiers, and above all, fight to please the one who called you, because we know He's worthy. And that's what it means to live as a good soldier.